When God calls you to do something, what is your response? Do you know that in the Bible we see pretty much three main ways that people respond? The first one is right away obedience. And we see this with Abraham. Abraham, when he heard from God that he was needing to move from one place to another, he went ahead and moved. He followed the voice of God obediently, quickly. And we see the same in Genesis chapter 22 when Abraham is asked to sacrifice his son. He doesn't sit around, he obeys God. In fact, his answer is "Here I am," which in the Hebrew actually translates into "Here I am, ready to listen, ready to respond, ready to obey." Before Abraham even knew what God was going to ask him to do, he was already putting himself in a place of full surrender and obedience. Is that the way that we respond when God calls us to do something? Or are we maybe one of the other ones? Maybe we're the ones that, like Frank Sinatra, say, "We're going to do it my way." So we have plenty of examples there as well, where people decided in the Bible, they decided to take matters into their own hands. They decided that they were going to do the things that they wanted to do in the way that they wanted to do that. A classic example is King Saul. King Saul was given a directive, and when the people started getting restless, instead of waiting for God and being obedient and waiting for Samuel to come, he took matters into his own hand, and he decided that he was going to play the role of the priest. And that caused him to lose the lineage that would be his as far as his family line. But that wasn't the only time that he did it. He did it again a couple chapters later when he was asked to take out the Amalekites. And what did he do then? He kept some of the good stuff. He did not fully obey, and that cost him what? It cost him the kingship. In fact, the very next chapter, 1 Samuel chapter 16, we see that Samuel is going out now and he is anointing David because God had rejected Saul as king. See, when we take matters into our own hands, when we do it our way, we lose out on that blessing that could be ours. But there's a third way, and that's the one that says, "You want me to do what?" Well, we question what God has told us, thinking, God must be crazy. Why is he asking me to do something like that? We see that all over the place too. Think about in 2 Kings chapter 5, we see Naaman. And Naaman is asked to dip into, he's got leprosy, he's asked to dip into the Jordan River 7 times. And what's his response? The Jordan River? Man, that place is, it's dirty. And yet, he still obeyed reluctantly and with the pushing of his servant. But he could have had that blessing right away. He could have been one of those ones that we read where they were obedient right away and God did something miraculous. Now, God still did something miraculous, but his answer was, "You want me to do what?" Sometimes God is going to ask us to do some things and he's expecting us to be giving full surrender, full obedience to what he's asking us to do. How are we going to respond? Are we going to respond with, "No problem, I'm going to do it. Here I am, ready to listen, ready to obey, ready to respond"? Are we going to respond with, "I think my way's better. I'm going to do it my way"? And then we wonder why blessing doesn't come. Or are we going to be those who question God? "You want me to do what?" How do you respond? God, I pray that our response is quick and obedient. But how do you respond? Now think, how should I change and respond?